everyone, and welcome. This is the how-to teacher on how to create an organized and effective, efficient morning meeting using Google Slides. So what you need to do is you need to go into your Google account and create a new slide, and I'm just showing you a little sneak peek of what my morning meeting looks like and how you can have something very similar. So what I would do, the first thing, you can tell that all of mine have the same headings. I like things to be unified and matching. So I just came up to shape here and I did a rectangle and I created a little heading banner. What I did is I did my fill color to be black and the line should be black as well. And then I went ahead and I added a text box in the same square rectangle, and I'm just going to make it go all the way. I made that text white. You could do this anyway. And I'm just going to type the word heading, and then I'm going to center it, and then I'm going to center it again. I'm going to do 60. Yeah, let's do 60, and I'm obsessed with this all caps font, and I'm going to make it bold since it's my heading. So there's my heading that I'm going to have on every single page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click the page over here on the left, and I'm going to copy it, and then I'm just going to paste and paste and paste and paste and paste. So now I have all these slides with the same heading, and all I need to do is put in the heading myself. So you need to think about, what does your morning meeting look like? What are the things that you want your kids to do every single morning in the exact same order every single day? So the first thing that I just want to do is I want to do our calendar together. Okay, so here's my calendar page. I'm going to go ahead. Then I'm going to do our greeting. Then I'm going to do our activity. I follow the responsive classroom outline, so this is what we do. We're going to do a share, and then we're going to have our morning meeting, or our morning message. After our morning message, we might do some word work, and then we might do a little bit of poetry. Poetry every single day helps with fluency, and then you get it. So maybe I'm going to do math for this one. You could also do some reading tips you want to give them for the day. Maybe there's some writing stuff that you don't want them to forget because maybe it's a writing heavy day. You can edit these slides any way that you want. So do what you want, whatever works best for you. But I did feel like, I'm going to move the slide up here. I did feel like having this, I would share my screen, I would present to them, and they would go through this morning meeting slide with me, and we would do it all together. So I would share my screen every time that I would do this. So our calendar, how in the world do you, whoops, I knew I spelled that wrong. Calendar. So how in the world do we do a calendar? Okay, so what I did is I just looked up a blank calendar. I went and I found one that I liked, and I'm going to copy the image and I'm going to paste it. I'm going to click and then I'm going to paste it right in there. What I wanted to do is I wanted my calendar to be a little bit bigger so my kids could actually see it. So I'm going to move the calendar box all the way over here, and so now I just have calendar over there. I also don't like this extra text at the bottom. If you double click your picture, it will make a black box around it. You can choose this little black toggle thing and just move it up, and then when you click out of it, boop, it's gone. So that's pretty amazing. So I have my calendar. All I would do is add a text box for whatever month it is, which is August. And I just can't believe summer is over. Again, I'm obsessed with that. I'm going to make it 60, way too big. Let's go for 45. I'm going to center it and center it again, and that's nearly perfect. So then you're wondering, like, how in the world do I get my numbers? You could do two things. You could make your own numbers yourself by using shapes. You could do circles, you could do squares, whatever you want. So let's just go ahead and do a circle. I'm going to make one circle so I know it's as big as my boxes for each day. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to change the color because that's so ugly. And I want the outline to be the same, orange, okay? So I'm going to go with orange this month, okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my text box and I'm going to add a number in the middle. So I'm just going to start with the number 1. Again, obsessed, and I'm going to make it like 25. Oh, perfect. Okay, I might need to like move it around a little bit just so I know it's like as close to the middle as possible. Oh, there we go. That'll have to do for now. So then I'm going to press down my shift key and click the circle so it creates, or it selects all of that, because I want that to be one picture. I don't want to have to move things 2 at a time. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to group it. So here's my number 1. Okay, I'm just going to move that little sucker over here, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold down my Option key or my Alt key, and I'm going to, while I'm holding it down, I'm going to click this and drag it over, and it duplicates it. So now I'm going to be getting all of these duplicates of numbers. Whoop. Uh-oh. So sometimes you just have to option. What in the world? I'm just gonna boop. Is it grouped? Okay, this one's grouped. So Option. Okay, there we go. So I'm just going to make all my numbers, okay? While I'm doing that, I can then select the number in the middle and just change it. So then I would go all the way to 31. So what I would do is I would put all my numbers on this side, and then it was available for every morning meeting. So then all I would have to do is, whoops, all I would have to do would be select it, and then I would just drag it over to where it needs to go in the month. Okay, so you could do this quick, easy calendar. You guys could talk about what day it is, what day would tomorrow be, things like that. You could add extra if you wanted to. Totally up to you, but this I thought was a great little addition to doing calendar. For greeting, you would type in whatever greeting you want your kids to do, activity, share, morning message. I would just get my text box and I would type a nice morning message to my students. I would read it first and then I would let somebody else read it. Word work, poetry. Every day we would read a different poem. Hello, Jen Jones. If you don't follow her, I would go and follow her and go to her store because she has a whole year's worth of poetry and my kids love it. Every class, I've been teaching for 5 years, 4 years in the classroom. Every year I use the poems. It's just great. It goes along with the school year. It's great, and it's great for fluency practice. Math. For my math, I did something like this. I teach first grade, and just something very simple, just kind of finding what numbers are missing, creating that conversation of, well, how do you know that's a number 3? How do you know that a number 6 would be there? So what I did was I went and I searched for a hundreds chart on Google, and I found this pretty little guy. Where is it? Well, I found that hundreds chart somewhere, but you could find any hundreds chart. 100 chart, maybe I just did 100, there it is. I typed in 100 chart and I found this little guy. So what I did is I copied it, and when I copied it and I pasted it in here, I didn't want the whole hundreds chart. So I used that trick that I just showed you earlier. I double clicked it and then I just cropped it to the part where I wanted my kids to go up to. So I think going up to 30 for the beginning of first grade is completely understandable. I clicked out of it, and then there's my 100s chart. Okay, so I absolutely love it. And then to create my missing numbers, I just went in, I went to call outs, there's a star here, and I created a star to cover up each number. So then I pressed my option and I just started duplicating. I'm holding the option key down and I just was duplicating the star and putting it on random numbers, and I would do the same thing with different numbers the following day. So we'd continue doing this for the whole week and having the conversation of, well, how do you know? Making them explain, how do they know what number goes there if there's nothing there? So this is how I made my morning meetings. I did get some feedback on how in the world did I come up with this? Well, I made my Zoom meeting expectations, and there's a fun site called Emoji.com. If you go to Emoji.com, you can type in anything that you want. So I typed in yoga because I wanted their bodies to be still, and then I searched, and here's a person in lotus position. Now, it has the Apple one, but then it also has all the other emojis for all the other different operating systems and different websites. So I kind of like the Facebook ones too because they're a little bit more detailed. But yeah, so you can get any of these emojis, and all you would do is you would, right click and then just copy the image. And then when you make your morning Zoom expectations, I'll just go ahead and show you. I had 6 expectations that I wanted them to have. So what I did, I'm just going to make a new, we'll just call this one expectations. Zoom expectations. I went to insert, I added a table of 3 by 3, and I extended it all the way to the whole page. And then in here, I just pasted my picture. Boop. And then I wouldn't type in here, I would add a brand new text box. So this text box would just be like, your body is still. And then again, because I'm obsessed, and then I center everything. So everything's just very, very clean. It's all around the board. The same on every page. Let's just go with 30. Oh, that's a good one. Okay, so your body is still. So what I would do is I would just center this here. There we go. And then I would do it for all the other expectations. You're probably wondering, where in the world did I get this stuff? This stuff is in emojis. I just Googled those things, I copied what I found, and then I pasted it. So again, you can find really anything in the Google Images, just copy it, paste it, and then if you have to crop it, remember I showed you a trick on double clicking and then cropping it, just so you can only see what you want to see. I hope you found this helpful. Again, I use this every single day, and then every morning before Zoom, I go through, I touch up any slide that I need to change, and then it's ready for me to go. Share my screen with my kiddos so they can see everything that I'm seeing and we can go through it together. And a little trick that I think is worth sharing is, while you're sharing your screen, we might not have it. You could also use Photo Booth. Here it is. If you're using Photo Booth, you can be sharing your screen while you're going over your morning meeting. For example, hi boys and girls, I'm going to go, wait, because when you're on Zoom and you're sharing your screen, they don't see you anymore. So you can present, or you can share the screen with them and then just kind of put yourself over in the corner here. And what I'm going to do, oh, I'm sorry. Boop. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I don't know what I just did. Okay, so you can shrink yourself a little bit if you need to shrink yourself a little bit, and share the screen with them, and just have yourself over here so they're not being distracted with the slides over there. You're covering it all up, and then they will see everything over here on the slide. Okay, so I don't think, let's just try presenting. Yeah, so I won't still be on there, but again, bring up your photo booth. They can see you, and they can see what's on the Google slide for morning meetings. So there's a quick little trick for that. All right, hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out in our email, thehowtoteacher@gmail.com. Visit us on Instagram @thehowtoteacher, and don't forget to subscribe. All right, have a great day.